What if I told you that the difference between making $30,000 a year and $100,000 a year isn't your intelligence, your connections, or even your education? It's one simple psychological shift that 97% of people never make. In the next 12 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what separates the financially successful from everyone else. And more importantly, how you can make this shift starting today. Here's a sobering fact. The average American makes $56,000 per year. But here's what's even more shocking. 78% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, regardless of their income. This means people making $80,000, $90,000, even $120,000 are still struggling financially. Why? Because they're trapped in what I call the linear income trap. They trade time for money, hour for hour, with a hard ceiling on their earning potential. But the people making their first $100,000 and beyond, they've discovered something completely different. Today, we're going to break down the exact framework that separates the financially successful from everyone else, and I'm going to show you how to apply it to your specific situation. The first thing you need to understand is that wealthy people think about money completely differently than everyone else. While most people think about money as something they earn, wealthy people think about money as something they create. Let me give you an example. When a regular person sees a problem, they think, "That's annoying." When a wealthy person sees the same problem, they think, "That's an opportunity." This isn't just positive thinking. It's a fundamental rewiring of how you perceive the world around you. Think about Uber. Travis Kalanick didn't just complain about expensive taxis. He created a billion-dollar solution. Think about Airbnb. The founders didn't just worry about expensive hotels. They turned spare rooms into income streams. But here's the key insight that most people miss. You don't need to create the next Uber to apply this mindset. You can apply it to your current situation, your current skills, your current job, starting right now. Every person who's made their first $100,000 has mastered these three pillars. Miss any one of them, and you'll stay stuck where you are. The first pillar is value amplification. Here's what most people get wrong. They think they need to work harder to make more money. Wrong. You need to work smarter by amplifying the value you provide. Let me show you what this looks like in practice. Sarah was a graphic designer making $35,000 a year, designing logos for $200 each. Instead of just designing more logos, she started positioning herself as a brand identity strategist. She now charges $3,000 for complete brand packages. Same skills, different positioning, 15 times the income. Michael was a personal trainer making $25 per hour. Instead of just training more clients, he created an online course teaching his methods. He now makes $8,000 per month while working fewer hours. Same expertise, amplified reach. The key is asking yourself, how can I take what I already know and deliver it in a way that provides 10 times more value? This could mean packaging your knowledge, solving bigger problems, or reaching more people simultaneously. The second pillar is multiple income streams. Here's a brutal truth. If you're dependent on one source of income, you're financially vulnerable, no matter how much you make. Wealthy people typically have 3 to 7 different income streams. But here's what's crucial. These aren't random side hustles. They're strategic, interconnected streams that build on each other. Let me break this down with a real example. Jennifer is a marketing consultant. Her primary stream makes $80,000 per year. But she also has a monthly group coaching program bringing in $2,000 per month. Digital courses generating $1,500 monthly. Affiliate partnerships earning $800 per month. And an investment portfolio yielding $500 monthly. That's $139,400 total, with multiple backup systems if any one stream falters. The third pillar is strategic leverage. This is where most people get stuck. They try to scale by working more hours, but there are only 24 hours in a day. Strategic leverage means using systems, people, or technology to multiply your efforts. There are 4 types of leverage that $100,000 earners master. Time leverage, hiring others to handle tasks that don't require your specific expertise. System leverage, creating processes and workflows that run without your constant input. Technology leverage, using tools and platforms to automate and scale your work. Network leverage, building relationships that open doors and create opportunities. Here's how this works in practice. David runs a consulting business. Instead of just selling his time, he built a team of junior consultants for time leverage, created standardized processes for common projects as system leverage, uses CRM and project management tools for technology leverage, and partners with complementary businesses for referrals as network leverage. Result? He went from making $60,000 working 60 hours a week to making $150,000 working 35 hours a week. Knowing these pillars is one thing. Implementing them is another. Here's your step-by-step roadmap to your first $100,000. All right, let's dive in. Step 1. Audit your current value. Take inventory of your skills, knowledge, and experience. Ask yourself, what problems can you solve? What results can you deliver? Write down everything. And honestly, you'll probably be surprised by how much value you actually possess. Now, step 2. Identify your amplification opportunity. Look for ways to package your existing value differently. Can you solve bigger problems, reach more people, deliver results faster? This, right here, is where your first income jump is going to come from. And finally, step 3. Create your minimum viable offer. Don't try to build the perfect product right out of the gate. Instead, create the simplest version of your amplified value that someone would actually pay for. And then, test it with real customers immediately. Moving on to the next phase. Step 4. Build your first additional stream. Once your primary offer is generating consistent income, it's time to add your first secondary stream. Just make sure this new stream complements and doesn't compete with your main focus. Step 5. Implement basic systems. Start automating those repetitive tasks. Use tools like scheduling software, email automation, and project management platforms. Every hour you save is, honestly, an hour you can spend growing. And step 6. Start building your network. Try reaching out to 5 new people each week in your industry. Not to sell, but to build genuine relationships. Over time, these connections will become your most valuable asset. Step 7. Add strategic leverage. This is where you start thinking bigger. Can you hire someone? Can you create a course? Can you build a referral system? Choose one type of leverage and, implement it fully. Step 8. Optimize and systematize. Track everything. What's working? What isn't? Double down on your highest return activities and eliminate or delegate everything else. Step 9. Plan your next level. By month 9, you should be approaching your $100,000 goal. Now, it's time to think about your next milestone. The systems you've built for $100,000 will accelerate your path to $200,000 and beyond. Before we wrap up, let me share the 3 biggest mistakes that keep people from reaching $100,000, even when they're doing everything else right. Mistake number 1. Undervaluing your worth. Too many people charge based on what they think people will pay, not on the value they provide. If you solve a $10,000 problem, charge accordingly. Your price should reflect your value, not your insecurities. Mistake number 2. Trying to do everything yourself. The moment you can afford to hire help, do it. Your time is your most valuable asset. If you can pay someone $20 an hour to free up time for $100 an hour work, that's a 5 times return on investment. Mistake number 3. Focusing on perfection instead of progress. Perfectionists never reach $100,000 because they never launch. Done is better than perfect. You can improve as you go, but you can't improve something that doesn't exist. Here's what I want you to do in the next 24 hours. First, complete your value audit. Spend 30 minutes writing down every skill, every bit of knowledge, every result you've ever delivered. This is your raw material for $100,000. Second, identify your biggest amplification opportunity. What's one way you could package your existing value to solve a bigger problem or reach more people? Third, research your market. Who else is solving similar problems? What are they charging? How can you position yourself differently? Fourth, create your 90-day plan. What's your minimum viable offer? How will you test it? What's your launch timeline? Remember, making your first $100,000 isn't about luck, connections, or even talent. It's about applying the right strategy with consistent action. Every person making 6 figures started exactly where you are right now. The only difference is they decided to think differently about value, income, and leverage. Your first $100,000 is waiting for you. The question isn't whether you can do it, it's whether you'll start today. The time to start is now. Your future self will thank you. If this video helped you understand the path to your first $100,000, make sure to hit that like button. It really helps more people discover this content. And if you want more strategies for building wealth and financial freedom, subscribe and ring that notification bell so you never miss our latest videos. I'll see you in the next one.